Yes, y'all. What is up, guys? It is me, High Tech, and I am bringing another super necessary video to you guys today. This time talking about Dragon Ball FighterZ and the future of the game and what that means, because there's been some happenings going on, you know, with Arc System Works, and I think they spell out good news for the future of the game. And I want to believe it so bad because I love this game and I believe in Dragon Ball FighterZ, all right? So we're going to talk about it today because it's heavy on my mind and I'm excited about it. So let's go. All right, so first I have to preface with a quick story about Twitter. So yesterday I was minding my own business, just kind of doing my thing, going about my day, and then I realized that I have a Twitter account that I haven't used in a very long time. And I used to be really heavy, really active on Twitter. I had posted like a lot of fighting game stuff on there, a lot of Dragon Ball Fighter stuff, believe it or not, like a lot of clips and combos and things like that. And I kind of got curious and I wondered like, hey, I want to see if I can get into that old Twitter account. Well, it actually kind of stemmed from me wanting to be more up to date with like the gaming world and news and updates and that stuff, because I recognize that devs post a lot on Twitter or X. My bad, X. So very long story short, I got back into my Twitter account, found all the fun goody stuff, and then I checked out, I caught wind of the Dragon Ball Games page's Twitter, and I seen that they had some really interesting stuff on there that I think it's good news of things to come, I think, in my opinion. So let's just check it out and let's talk about it. All right, so here we are on the Dragon Ball Games X page, right? So, you go down and you see like a couple of trailers, some videos and stuff like that, which we'll talk about those too, because those are a thing on their own. But right here, so the original post of October 11th, when they updated, there's a new balance patch and all that good stuff, right? So 5 days after the fact, after they posted this, on October 16th, they made another tweet, or they made a tweet addressing the patch that came out on the 12th. So 4 days after the patch. And let's just read through it, and then we'll talk about how that stuff makes me feel, because it makes me feel some tingliness. Alright, it says, thank you for playing Dragon Ball FighterZ. Following the recent version 1.4 update, we have identified several issues affecting gameplay. We're actively working on fixes which will be addressed in a future update. Okay, check it out. The planned fixes include, cooldown time for Z Assist Type A and B. Hit Instant Blow, Goku Ultra Instinct, Unrestrained Will, and the Sparking State only, Gohan Teenager version, Super Dragon Flight Heavy, Goku Black, Fierce... No, not Goku! Goku Black, Fierce God Kick Heavy, Zamasu Fused, I don't know why they always say fused, Wall of Light, and other unintended changes affecting certain moves and combinations. We sincerely apologize for the inconvenience and thank you so much for your continued support. There are a few happenings here that need to be addressed, so let's just start off with the elefante that's in the room, and it's the fact that they're making like a hot fix. So I was thinking about it. They could go about this one of two ways, which is they announced, this 1.4 balance patch update, which came with all the changes that we have right now with all the janky craziness and this, that, and the other. I was under the impression, and I think most of us are because we've been kind of trained this way, conditioned, that when Goku Super Saiyan Monkey 4 comes out, there'll be another balance patch, right? I don't know if I'm crazy for thinking that, but I'm under the impression that's what's going to happen. Now, when I first read all this here about these changes right here, 4 days after 1.4. I was thinking initially like, oh, they're gonna make like a 1.41 to fix this, and then when Goku Super Saiyan 4 comes out, that's 1.42, right? That's how I interpreted that. But they could very well just be like, oh, we will address all of these things here in the next patch, which would be the Goku Super Saiyan 4 balance patch. They could do that. It could be one of two ways, but I'm thinking, you know, the optimistic part of me is thinking it's going to be like a 1.41, and then the Goku one will be 1.42, because I don't think obviously some of these things were oversights and non-intended, and so I think because that was not a part of their original plan, I think that's how it's going to be 1.41, and then like the hot fix, and then 1.42. That's how I see that. Let's talk about some of what they are going to change. So the cooldown time for the Z assist, the A and B, I don't think that change is like really necessary. Can you change it? Sure, you know, it's understandable. I ran a little test. I did a C assist, and then the goal was to see how many A's or B's I could fit in while the C is recharging. And I think it was somewhere like 4 or 5 you could fit in. And that's a lot. Because I think the recharge time, from what I last remember, was the recharge time for a C assist was 15 seconds. But I think they buffed that to 12 seconds, I think, which is still like a hella long time. So, I don't know. I don't really think that one's not too crazy to me. I think the game was fun with like having the quick assist. It's like in a similar vein to, you know, like a Marvel 2 or a 3, but I thought it was cool. But I think a good even balance was like 3 assists, I think, you know, A or B. The hit instant blow. Now that is ultra jank. I can see why they changed that, because dude literally has an infinite where he's just palming your nuts into the wall, and you don't need sparking and you don't need limit break, and you could do literally like it's a free TOD with, you just need an assist. And I don't know if they have like a solo version, but yeah, I don't think they meant to do that. That's pretty busted. It's pretty jank. Hit already had like a little auto combo infinite, you know, before that, and then they give him another one and it's like, oh shit. So that one makes sense. Goku, UI Goku, the unrestrained will, which is down, down, S in the air. It's pretty much the wake up move, you know, where he just kind of does the Superman punch, the Shoryuken punch, the sideways one. In the sparking state only, I'm kind of sad that they're getting rid of this jank. It was cool. It's just so funny. It was cool to see Goku just whoosh, 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 just side to side to side, and they're just stuck. I think that was funny. It's cool. It's very reminiscent of like old janky Capcom games, you know, like Infinites. I think that stuff's cool. Does the game need it? No. Does it break the game a little bit? Yes, because they already buffed UI already, and then they had that, and they just kind of made it worse. So yeah, I just think it's hella funny just to watch them. And I was able to do it. I didn't look up a YouTube video or a clip or nothing, and I was able to do it. It's really easy, and it'll be missed. It's funny, but yeah, whatever. It is what it is. With the Gohan Super Dragonfly, I want to say that's his heavy Shoryuken, his DP. I haven't seen anything on that. Maybe there's some clips out there that are abusing it, but I haven't seen anything crazy about it or heard anything about it, so I'm not too sure what that one is. The Goku Black one.
Look, he's a twitcher.
This one hurts. They finally buff my boy Goku Black. They're like, look, bro, here's a buffet. We've been starving you for a minute, but now you're eating. You can be thick. You can be thick with 3 C's like the rest of the boys on the roster, and you can have these heavy dive kick loops in the corner. But then they realize, like, hold on, bro, you eating too much. You fat ass just didn't pay for the premium ticket. You can only get this part, the salad bar. You can't have the rest of the buffet. And yeah, they're taking away his dive kick corner loops, which definitely wasn't intended. It's funny. It's one of those things that's like, what the hell is going on? Just whoosh, 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 whoosh. And it's fun. I definitely have done it a lot online to a lot of victims, and it's fun. I'm gonna miss it, but they gave him some other juice, some other sauce with his light god slice, and they just opened up a whole new world of new routes for him. And so he's still got some stuff. Man, I want to miss those heavy dive kick loops. I have not seen anything about the Zamasu Wall of Light, so I'm not really sure what that might be referring to. And it says other unintended changes affecting certain moves and combos. I'm sure there are other little things that are undiscovered or discovered that just aren't being talked about as much. But yeah, that's how I interpret this here. But the next piece that I want to talk about is why are they deciding to address this? You know, because most of the time, like, again, it goes back to conditioning. We've been conditioned to, we get a new Dragon Ball patch and they're like, oh, here's the new patch, now open your mouth and I'm shoving that shit in, and you better chew it and you better like it, because you're a bitch if you don't. and that's just kind of how it's been. But the fact that they're like, here's a patch, it comes out tomorrow, and then 4 days later they're like, hey, listen up, brother, we're sorry for shoving that shit down your throat. If you want something a little less, a little less whatever, tart or bitter or whatever the hell, something less spicy, we'll kind of tone it, we'll dial it back, we'll kind of go back, we'll redo it, and we'll make it right. And that's really weird, because not only, like I said, we're conditioned to these guys just being like, hey, take what you need, get what you get, but it's in the middle of them, like Arxis working on Tokon, and they still are doing like a Strive 2.0 update, and they have a new character coming out for that. And again, it just kind of, it starts begging the question, like, what are they doing with Dragon Ball FighterZ? Like, why all of a sudden are you paying attention to it? And after thinking about it, this game might be the new, like, Xenoverse 2. And all signs kind of point, in that direction. To start, Dragon Ball FighterZ sold 10 million units, and that's a hell of a lot of fucking units. And Xenoverse 2 also sold about 10 million units. And if you go and look at just fighting game sales in general, just on a broad scale spectrum, the Dragon Ball franchise is, I think, like top 5, like along with Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter. Like, it's Dragon Ball fighting games, and we all know the big selling Dragon Ball fighting games. There's a shit ton of Dragon Ball fighting games, ranging from janky ass, like, NES, Super Nintendo fighting games, to our Budokai Tenkaichis, our 3D arena fighters, and of course, like, our Marvel style Dragon Ball FighterZ game. And this game by far is like the cash cow for Dragon Ball fighting games. So, and I mean, like, this game was just played at Evo France, and it's going to be played at Dragon Ball Games Battle Hour. And it's just a really hype game with a lot of love and just a lot of sick mechanics put into it. And it's almost 8 years old, and it's still getting supported in a very, very odd turn of events. Like I said, fighting games don't last this long, but I feel like, I don't know, something is happening or shifting where they're like kind of opening up their eyes, and they're realizing, like, dude, there's a lot of milk in these titties. Like, we need to be like just all of it. And I feel like that's kind of what's happening here, because they're adding like another character and another patch, and then it's like, oh, the patch was kind of busted, let's fix that for you. And it's just like, and then they're like, oh, well, well, here's some rollback too, and it's really weird, and it comes like at sporadic times, and I kind of feel like when we get to spring of next year, when they release the Goku during the battle the battle hour, I feel like there's more coming, man, because there's not a sequel coming up, because like I said, there's Tokon and there's Strive, and that's just a lot of manpower and a lot of money that they'd have to spend to make another game, which would kind of be like the same thing, more or less. Like, how can you really improve upon the Dragon Ball FighterZ formula? Like, it's already kind of solidified. They just are fine-tuning everything right now, and it's kind of going in like the Dragon Ball, it's turning into like a Dragon Ball FighterZ 2.0, and I think that's the way to go. Honestly, it saves a lot of money. You just keep the game, keep it as a forever game, like a platform game similar to Killer Instinct, where it's like, here's season 1, 2, and 3, and then when that was done, it's like, oh, we're gonna still give you balance patches, and then like, oh, and here's Eagle, and here's Kilgore, and here is this character, and they weren't part of like season passes or season updates, but they were still like supporting the game and giving life into it. And it's very rare when fighting games get support for a long time. Fighting games that aren't like Tekken 7 or like Street Fighter 4 or 5, and like, it's just weird. It's turning into like Super Dragon Ball Fighters or Hyper Dragon Ball Fighters, and I think a 2.0 is the way to go, and I think that's the way to get everybody in, because we're clearly all very excited for this new update. We thought the game was dead. The game had a final patch like 3 times, and now it's like, here's the final patch. Oh, we're gonna fix it again, and like, something's going on. I don't think it's a sequel. And every time we think the game is dead, someone just grabs the dragon by the balls and makes a wish, and yet there's new life, and there's something new to look forward to, something to get excited about. And I think a Dragon Ball FighterZ 2.0 is the way to go. The last thing that I think would be like the cherry on top would probably be, I think, crossplay and a reworking of the online, just matchmaking, ranked matches, how to find players, lobbies, all that stuff. I think they did a really good job of that in Strive, and I'm sure they have a new innovative way to do that in Tokon. And it just, I don't know, it just, there's a lot of money when you have a Dragon Ball IP under your belt, and right now they have Dragon Ball and they have Marvel Dude, so they're gonna have, just money. They're just swimming in it, you know what I mean? Just naked, nuts rubbing all over the money, and it just makes sense to go that route. We're just thinking about it. I think crossplay is the last thing to do. You know what I mean? All I just feel like that's the way to go. And so that's my thought on it. I'm really excited about this game, and like, they even have marketing for this freaking game. Like, they're starting to market the game again in a weird way. It's like, oh, look, in this game, certain character matchups get special intros and voice lines and finishers, and it's like they're marketing the game again, like, hey, check out this cool badass game, we updated it, we have this, we got that, we got this coming. And you know what I mean? Like, there's just, I don't know, man, it just makes sense to go the Xenoverse 2 route, and I think it's working for Xenoverse 2, clearly. People still play it, people still buy the DLC, and there's still lots of cool characters to add, and I don't know, I just don't see why not. That's just my thoughts on it. And so, yeah, let me know what you guys think about that. Let me know how you feel. Let me know what you hope for, you wish for. Is Dragon Ball FighterZ 2.0 gonna be a thing? Is it a forever game? I'm cool with that. You know what I mean? Until we get a different style Dragon Ball fighting game, I think, what's wrong with this one? Just patch it up, fix it up a bit, and we'll be good to go. Yeah, guys, if you guys made it to the end of my rant, the end of my, theory crafting and speculation, please help me out. Leave a like. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you guys watching. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Let me know what you think, and have a good day, you ugly mother